On today's DNVR Broncos podcast, we are diving into Dre Greenlaw's situation. What happened? Why did the Broncos wait to put him on IR? And then when will he actually be back? We're diving into that. Plus, we're going to wrap up the conversation we had on Bo yesterday and look at where the Broncos are in the playoff picture. And it all starts now. What is going on with Dre Greenlaw, and when will number 57 be back on the field? We're going to break it down on today's DNVR Broncos podcast. Fun show today, live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your local Front Range Toyota stores, presented by Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. Place a $5 bet, deposit $10, and use that code DNVR365. You're going to get $200 in bonus bets. What a way to start your hump day. With Ryan Koenigsberg, Henry Chisholm, we got you here behind the camera. Zac Stevens rocking and rolling with you. Fellas, how we doing?
I am doing fantastic. How are you?
I am doing fantastic as well. Feels like a Tuesday, but it's Wednesday, so that's good.
But really, it should feel like a Tuesday.
Yeah, maybe that's why it feels like a Tuesday.
Because the game is further away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So maybe that does make sense.
Yeah.
I'm just excited to be sitting here talking to you two humans for the next hour.
What a little tease for something that we're going to release tomorrow.
Boy, did Henry
think
get
on this
himself
show?
into a situation.
Boy, did I have a time.
That was something. That I can't wait for Henry to tell this story to you tomorrow. We'll do that on tomorrow's podcast. That's going to be a fun one. And I guess let's just dive into the not so fun news here of Dre Greenlaw. The Broncos on Saturday place him on injured reserve right before Sunday's game. First off, guys, I got to ask you, were you surprised that happened?
No.
No. The surprising part is that if you were going to do it, you'd think you'd do it sooner. But sometimes you get new information, and the new information says it's time to put the guy on IR. And given everything that's happened, I can't say Dre Greenlaw going on IR is a surprise.
That's fair.
You can only play the kick the can down the road game for so long, and the Broncos had misplayed it, and I think it's you're probably about to tell us that they expected him to be back this time, and then he had a setback, and so that just is what it is. But once you've done that to that point, then you just have to say, okay, we can't do this again. We can't say, okay, he's going to play week 5, and then he's not there. Week 6, he's not there. Week 7, he's not there. So then, to me, that was kind of obvious that was coming.
Yep, you had to get your fullback on the roster somehow. Time to just pull the trigger and say, this is how we're going to get him on the roster.
Well, the Broncos still haven't actually done that.
No.
Still haven't made the move to bring him,
more days.
Adam Prentice, up to the active roster. But
They need a better fullback.
Wow.
Okay.
Honestly, maybe. There was that play where there's the double team, him and Garrett Bowles on Derwin James. I don't think that was meant to be a double team. And one of those two was wrong. Garrett's an all-pro. So
Yep.
I don't
And
disagree.
the highest rated pass protector in the NFL through 3 weeks.
yeah,
Wow.
I believe that game was the first pressure that he's given up
Crazy.
against the Chargers. So yeah, Garrett's off to a great start. Broncos, by every statistic out there, is the best offensive line in the NFL. Which is a really good sign, and some online are spinning as a bad sign for Bo. So that's interesting there.
Bo is part of the reason why that is.
Sean would certainly say that's the case.
Yeah, the problem is he's not taking sacks because he never stops moving. It's hard to sack a moving target.
That's true. It's true. Just like why it was shocking that Lamar Jackson got sacked 7 times on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, but at least he was setting his feet in the pocket and getting hit.
Okay, so wait. Jeff in the Toyota chat says, hello, fellas. Love from Afghan. Wow.
Wow.
That
That's a
is
first, I think.
that is very, very cool. Shout out to Jeff for joining us there. Shout out to everyone in the Toyota chat, especially the supporters club members, like Angel there, Mr.
Yes.
Tembo, Rickert RK Boar.
Rick.
Oh, Rick. Dang. Anytime I see RKs close to each other, I just think of you, Ryan.
Thanks.
Michael in here, man, got a pop in chat. I love it right now.
Did you give a shout out to Turd Curry?
No, of
I'll
course.
shout out Turd Curry.
Always shout outs to our friend Turd Curry there.
I'll shout out, I think it was Stefan, maybe Steven.
Always tough to tell.
Wait, let me see. Oh, no. Spencer. He was comparing me to Steven.
Right.
Do you like that comparison?
Bank account wise, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I saw something. He's at like 40 million a year now.
Yeah, I'll take that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I'll even take all the hate.
With
Yeah.
the 40
Easy
mil,
trade.
I would too, instantly. Okay, so let's get into the Dre Greenlaw situation. Let's just reset where things were at, and then what I've kind of heard behind the scenes. So Broncos signed Dre Greenlaw. He's healthy when they sign him. Literally the first week of the Broncos offseason program, when all they're doing is working out. No football, no nothing like that. He gets a quad injury. An article comes out, a report comes out from San Francisco, obviously someone that was somehow tied with him when he was with the 49ers, that says Dre Greenlaw suffered a very serious quad injury that could sideline him for months throughout the season, and I think it even hinted at like being season-ending potentially. Well, the next time we get an opportunity to talk to Sean Payton, right away that report was shut down. Then the next time we get to talk to Sean Payton, he goes out of his way to say how much he had to restrain himself from essentially slamming that report because of how wrong it is. And Sean said, Dre's going to be fine for training camp. Nothing to worry about, just going to be out a couple of months, all precautionary. He'll be good when training camp starts. So training camp starts, all is well. Dre's back on the field and, slowly working in. It wasn't like he was 100%, but it was still to Sean's plan. Then 5 days into camp, a week into camp, he's doing a one-on-one drill against J.K. Dobbins, and they are both so freaking juiced for this. You can see him get to the line, and I was like, man, this is why you brought these two guys in here.
Boys
Juice on offense,
Yep.
juice on defense.
Yep.
Boys are juicy, just like Henry said there. And J.K. beats him off the line. Dre turns, sprints to catch up with him, catches up with him, and right when he catches up with him, the ball is thrown, and Dre immediately stops and fades off. And it was like, oh, no. We find out that's a quad injury. But the Broncos really, really, really make an emphasis that is not the same quad injury.
So the other one.
Or a different part
Oh.
of the quad. Sean made it very clear,
You did.
Henry. You
You did.
remember.
You did.
I mean, there was a report that came out that it was the same injury. He made sure that was not the case. It probably doesn't really matter because so then Dre's out for a couple of weeks. The season starts on Labor Day. That's the very first practice of the season. Dre's back. It's like, okay, this is good.
In honor of Labor Day.
Yeah, and
Doing some labor.
yeah,
Working.
exactly.
Yes.
He's not there the next practice. He's not there the next practice. He's not there the next practice. You can add things together. Probably a setback happened. Okay, so a couple weeks go by. The practice, the Friday before the Broncos play the Colts in week 2, he's back for the first time. And it's like, okay, this is some progress. He's not going to play against the Colts, but we're seeing progress. This is a good sign. This is the reason why the Broncos didn't put him IR to start the season. Well, after the Colts game, that Wednesday practice, the first Wednesday since he practiced the previous Friday, he doesn't practice. He doesn't practice. He doesn't practice. The next day, the Broncos put him on IR. Now we sit right here. So, what happened? Well, what I have heard is it wasn't just 2 setbacks. It was setback after setback after setback. And what the Broncos did to try to help him with this injury is they had him work on it. So, Henry, you and I saw him out there almost every practice. He was warming up with the team sometimes and then going off on the side field. And to me, I thought he was so close every single time we saw him because it looks like he's running fine. Explosions there. He's doing movements every which way. But apparently that turned out to not be what his body needed or what his body needed, at least at the time, because what I heard is it was just different parts of the quad going every single time there was a setback. And so what the Broncos said was, we thought the rehab on the field was going to be what was going to make him better. And instead, what we have to turn to now, because that wasn't working, is just complete rest. Now Dre Greenlaw will not allowed to be on the practice field. He will not be allowed to do things like that. And so it's essentially protecting Dre from himself, protecting Dre from just literally hurting himself anymore.
You forgot one important part.
What's that?
Dre Greenlaw no longer exists, as I determined last week.
Wow.
And that is where things stand on the Dre Greenlaw front. Your linebackers are just your linebackers, and, if at some point somebody exists again. But as of now, the guy's not a factor.
I asked Henry this last week. I said if we were sitting downstairs watching Sunday Night Football, and I said if Evan Ingram and Dre Greenlaw played, or no, I said if Evan Ingram or Dre Greenlaw played in this game, do you think the Broncos would have won? He said yes. What do you think?
Well, going into the game, I thought Dre Greenlaw was the difference between winning and losing, and lost by 3. After the way that game played out, though, I don't know if Dre Greenlaw would have had as big of an impact. I think Strnad and Singleton were good.
Yeah.
Dre's a difference maker, but it's not like they got killed by tight ends throughout this game, or even running backs out of the backfield, or even running backs in general.
Right. Hampton had that stretch.
Evan Ingram, though, maybe he was the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, it's the point I was trying to set up there is like, you got to do everything you can to make sure you actually get Dre Greenlaw back. Everything the Broncos have done to this point seems rushed, and it's something that I feel like fans would want to do, but someone within an organization has to be like the responsible one who says like, no, we're not going to rush him back. Even if the coaches want to rush him back, like someone on the medical staff or George Payton or whoever has to say like, no, we're not rushing him back. We have to make sure, like, is there a world where if they actually shut him down through training camp, we could have Dre Greenlaw for this week? Probably.
But it flared up in training camp.
What I'm saying is...
So who knows if he would have practiced after a month more off, if it would have just flared up the second week of practice again.
Wasn't the original report Dre Greenlaw will miss the first 4 games of the season?
It was, I think, a couple of months.
Okay.
The one in April.
From some San Francisco reporter.
Either way, I feel like...
crushed, and now is...
very much got crushed.
Gonna be vindicated.
Yeah.
The point I'm trying to make is I just feel like the Broncos were a little irresponsible with this, trying to get him back sooner. And it was a different part of the quad thing. To me, is like trying to offload responsibility for the quad wasn't healed. So whether one side of his quad was compensating for the other side of his quad, and now that side's hurt, like he wasn't ready to come back, in my opinion. So now, okay, let's just do everything the right way here and make sure that if he does come back, the one thing that you cannot have is Dre Greenlaw has another quad injury. Like, this thing has to be fully healed before he plays football again.
Well, Ryan, you're really not going to like what I'm going to say next, but there's whispers that this quad hasn't just been an issue since April, that it goes back to college, that even goes back before college into high school. And so that is just that's the worst thing you want to hear. And so I understand why Henry's saying, like, you just got to plan without him.
Yeah. The other side of this, though, is you have people being like, this is why the 49ers let him go. And it's like, that's actually not what happened.
No, it was 3 different injuries that were why they let him go.
No, they didn't let him go. They lost him
they
to the Broncos.
They did want him.
They went to his house to try to stop him from going to the Broncos. So no one let him go. It's not like the Jawan James situation, which I feel like some people have tried to compare it to.
No, it's not that.
Where the Dolphins described it as the Broncos sitting on the whoopee cushion when they signed Jawan James. They didn't want him. The 49ers did want Dre Greenlaw back.
Yeah. It just stinks. I mean, you hope you see him at some point, but as of now, like it seems like you're giving him his $11 million, and he's probably gone at the end of the year, and you're looking for another linebacker. And it stinks that it feels that way, but the whole thing is just so. The tough part is when a guy who's injury prone goes through something like this, it isn't just that like, oh, he could come back in November and you hope the quad is good the rest of the way. You're hoping the quad's good the rest of the way. You're hoping the calf that he's always had issues with is good the rest of the way. He's had hamstring issues. You hope those are good the rest of the way. Like, there are just so many landmines that could pop up even if he does come back. And you hope the best for the guy. There's nothing against him. Like, he wants to be back more than anybody else wants him back. There's nothing he can do to fix this. It stinks for him. It stinks for the Broncos, and it stinks for us who have to watch and don't get to see Dre Greenlaw, who, the Broncos haven't trailed in the fourth quarter yet this season, which is a crazy stat for a team that's 1-2
with time left on the clock.
That's the end of the game. The game's over.
Right.
So yeah, they never trailed in the fourth quarter, and you're 1-2, and you have this guy who you think is really good. Could he have been the difference? Maybe.
Yes.
And that's why I'm not losing hope on Dre. Let's continue this conversation after I give a shout out to our friends over at Ent Credit Union, where I want to give a shout out to Broncos Country and to Ent Credit Union, because Broncos Country, this one is for you. This is a personalized checking account made for you. And not only do you get the coolest debit card in the world, it's got Bo Nix on it with his signature, but that debit card is going to earn you rewards, like 10% off food and gear on game days over at Empower Field at Mile High. Every 15 swipes on your Broncos checking debit card enters you for the chance to win home game tickets to the Broncos. No surprise fees, awesome perks beyond just what you get with the Broncos connected with it. And so if you're ready to bank like a Bronco, head to ent.com/DNVR. That's ent.com/DNVR to learn more. Check them out and get in on this Broncos checking account with ent.com/DNVR. Membership required. Account requires associated Ent Broncos debit card.
And shout out to the Gold Crown Foundation. I didn't grow up in Colorado. We've talked about this. I grew up in Montana.
Really?
Yeah. And it was me and Benny last week when we were talking about Gold Crown Foundation, which is the if you grew up playing basketball in Colorado, it was probably in the Gold Crown Competitive Basketball League, where they've got divisions for 4th through 8th grade teams with feeder teams with the gold, silver, bronze, club teams like the Elite and Open. What I was telling Benny was, I think it should be mandatory for children to play competitive basketball. I think that's the sport that makes the most sense. I think, it's just good for them. It's active and it's teamwork, and it's a very simple game, and it's a fairly safe game compared to others. Gold Crown Foundation, they've been a part of Colorado for forever. They're where everybody goes to play basketball here. Got 6 courts. They get to play in high school gyms. You can learn more. Sign up by scanning the QR code on the screen, visiting goldcrownfoundation.com. It's an awesome program, and you guys should get in there.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up. We got Thursday Night Football tomorrow, and then, of course, loaded weekend of football with awesome college slate, including CU and CSU, but also some other great games.
Like Montana, Idaho, which I will be at.
That was the one on the top of my head.
That's the one, ESPN2, 8:15.
Yes.
Top 10 FCS battle.
And then on
Saturday.
And then on ESPN at the exact same time, you've got CU and
BYU over there.
Yeah, shoot.
Did you guys see, just really quick on college football, did you guys see what's going on with Lane Kiffin?
Yes.
Wait,
this is
his daughter? This
is incredible. Yes.
Yeah, that's tough.
His daughter on Instagram, Lane Kiffin's daughter on Instagram on Monday, hard launched that she is dating a linebacker for LSU. LSU plays Ole Miss this week. So, of course, it goes viral online.
Star linebacker, too.
Yeah.
Like, not just anybody, but star linebacker.
The star line, the picture's her sitting on his lap.
She doesn't strike me as like a backup linebacker type
No.
of guy.
No.
Yeah. It's fun to have these conversations because I'm very wary of my word choice. But yeah, it's pretty crazy for the coach's daughter to announce that she is with the linebacker of the opposing team the week of the game.
And then to take it even further, he comments, because he's very much online, he comments on that and says, take the over.
He commented on some guy who's known for taking the over, who said take the over. and said take the over.
Well, he said take the over, which just adds to me a whole nother aspect.
See,
that's going to be an awesome game.
Knowing Lane Kiffin, I think that he was completely in and on board with this.
I honestly think that too, which does help.
Yep.
But I mean,
like they've probably been together for a couple months now.
you would think.
Oh, of course.
You would really
but for
hope.
them to launch it right
and
now.
he was like, it would be. He was probably like, it'd be hilarious if we announced it the week of the game.
I hope so.
I think,
And
that's
like, there's a
100%
chance that they've
happened.
met and they know each other and have a good relationship.
I think so.
The more fun story though,
There's
is
also a
that-
chance it's not.
exactly. There's a real chance that they haven't met, and yeah, it what a mess. I mean,
Yeah.
we don't need to go into equivalences.
Yeah.
We can just leave those alone. You can imagine.
So that's gonna be awesome. And also, speaking of giving shout out, I mean that whole thing was giving shout out and love to our presenting sponsor Bet365. You hear, if you don't mind,
the over.
what? Yeah, take the over for that game for sure. I'm sure it's gone up over at Bet365. I also wanted to give a shout out to someone in our Toyota chat. Elijah, who says, you guys rock, favorite podcast by far. I'll always be a supporter. Thank you for letting me come visit for my birthday back in April. Let's Bo. That's what I'm talking about, Elijah. Thank you for the support as well. Member of the Supporters Club.
Elijah
are
Cook.
Yeah, you're
I love
our
that.
favorite Elijah.
Yep. I love it.
I think
Okay.
that's fair to say.
What about Elijah Wilkinson?
I choose this one.
I'm gonna cook. I'm
Yeah.
Team Cook here. Although Elijah Wilkinson, nice guy.
Nice guy.
Okay, let's get back to this Dre Greenlaw stuff. I'm not losing hope because all hope is already lost. So like, you just hold on to
What's our thoughts about hope?
Hope is bad.
Hope is bad. Right.
I'm saying hope is good
hope
now.
is not good.
Hope is what
That's-
kills you. That's the saying.
Yes, but then Zach botched the saying
The saying, yeah.
years ago.
Right.
But, yeah, and credit
We
to
gotta
Star
figure out.
Wars, I
it was.
believe.
I know. But I'm trying to remember what in Star Wars was the original.
So now I'm
It's the
gonna
hope that
say,
kills you, something along those lines.
is that
Oh,
finally Ryan got it wrong?
hope is not a strategy. That's something.
Yeah,
different.
that could be something else. That sounds. Yeah, hope is not a strategy. Is definitely. a
It
thing.
does get summarized to hope is not good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hope
but
is
what
not
is it?
good.
I
What is
can't
the
figure it
Star-
out.
What is the Star Wars hope quote? That's what you Google.
I'm sure the Toyota chat can help
Yeah.
us here.
What did you Google previously?
Hope quote from Star Wars.
Wow.
And right, and what popped up is hope is like the sun. If you only believe in it, when you see it, you'll never make. And that is not anything we've ever heard.
Rebellions are built on hope is the other one, and then it's help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only hope.
I don't think that was it. I don't think that's what Zach was going for.
I honestly think it was rebellions are built on hope.
Yeah, that could be it. That could be it. Which, yeah, I don't know if that means it's good or not. So I'm gonna flip this quote today and say hope is good.
Hope is good. All right.
Because
That's from the Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, exactly. That one of the later scenes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say, look, the Broncos. It's likely. I mean, as Henry said, they might be done with Dre Greenlaw after 1 year. It was a 3-year, $31.5 million deal, but really only the first year was guaranteed.
Yep, you get out for 11.
People are already writing him off. So I'm just going to say that now you're just playing with house money now.
Yep.
And inside the building, as they probably should be, they're confident he's going to be healthy for the second half of the season. And I'm not going to count on that at all. But what I will count on is if he's healthy for the second half of the season, that's going to give the biggest shot in the arm to the Broncos, not just defense, but entire team, that is going to win them an extra game or two, or win them a playoff game. So now it's just like, can the Broncos land Dre Greenlaw in free agency midway through the season? I hope so. And they've got exclusive rights on him, essentially. And if they do, that's where my hope is now, is that if they get him, man, he's going to be a game changer midway through the season that not many teams are going to get.
Let's place bets on who is going to say, could be a media member, could be a coach, could be a player. Who is going to say, our trade deadline acquisition is Dre Greenlaw?
Oh,
Because that's like a classic.
that
thing.
is. That
Wait,
really
so
is.
say that again?
So like the trade deadline is going to come and go.
Yeah.
Almost all teams in the NFL don't really do anything at the trade deadline.
Yeah.
So the Broncos are probably not going to do anything.
Yeah.
But then someone somewhere is going to say like, oh, our trade deadline acquisition is Dre Greenlaw.
Yeah. Well, you.
Or
I'm
it's
gonna say you're gonna say that.
or
might
it's gonna
be.
be like a column. It could be a column.
yeah,
it could
yeah,
be
yeah.
a question to Sean.
No, that's very true.
But I think Sean's gonna say it.
Mm.
Oh, it does have some
I'll-
fanciness.
I'll tell you what, Vance is becoming very head coach like.
Yeah.
Very head coach like recently. Sean's probably the guy that you'd say it.
All right.
Or I'll go Kay Adams.
That's a good call.
Wow. Yeah, that does sound like her. Also, Jose in the chat saying trade for Troy Anderson. If the Broncos had 2 Montana State linebackers, I would be leaving practice every day with a wedgie.
that
And nobody wants
Is
that.
Troy Anderson good?
We would have heard more about him.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he was like a draft Twitter
Yeah.
darling.
he was.
4-4, plays linebacker, so
yeah,
big.
so if he was good, we would hear about how everyone called it. But since I haven't heard that, I bet you he's probably not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Broncos have 2 good linebackers right now.
Okay, so let's hear from Sean, because Sean was asked about this after the game, so right after the Broncos put Dre on IR. Let's hear from Sean and what he has to say about this situation. And there's a lot in here, so pay attention.
Yeah, and fair question. We got to a point, and listen, he's been busting his tail. This will take a little of the pressure off. We could have done it earlier, and yet there was still, there was a goal date, and it was either this week or next, and we felt like the last thing we want to do is have him come out too early and re-injure it. And George and I sat down with him. We spent some time discussing it, and now there's plenty of season left. So it was just something that we, obviously, hindsight, we could have said we should have done it. But at that time, the information was, hey, this is 4 weeks away, but it's a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, what I hear there is Sean, without saying the word setback, said setback. He said he was supposed to be back. The target goal was this past week or this week coming up, which would mean, yes, you don't put him on IR because he's not going to miss 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. But then, the timeline changed. Okay, well, why is the timeline change? Because of a setback. Mm-hmm. And now they're pushing it. And as you can tell, like, Sean's confident, hopeful that he's going to be back. He can be back as early as week 7. I was going to say I have a hard time thinking that Sean's going to tell us he'll be back week 7, but Sean has been very confident in players coming back, so maybe Sean actually will. But I'm hesitant to say he'll be back for that week 7 date.
I am very hesitant as well.
Again, hindsight's 20/20, but like when the whole IR or no IR thing was being debated, like someone could have just said, like, let's just put him on IR and make sure we have that extra week to make sure he's healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Rather than trying to rush him back.
Yeah, and another part of this that Sean touched on, which I've heard behind the scenes, is the Broncos made this decision and have been working with Dre more than I've ever heard a team work with a player in terms of, like, are we putting you on IR or not? What's your rehab process going to be like? In fact, they met Saturday morning, George, Sean, and Dre. They actually met all throughout last week. On Friday, Dre said, I just want to sleep on it and make sure that I want to go on IR and commit myself to being out for 4 weeks. So you can hear Sean there. He starts his answer off by saying, Dre's been working his tail off. This is kind of the Broncos now trying to protect Dre and say, like, Dre, you can't do that anymore. You just got to take a step back here. Yeah. And so maybe that's what also gives me some hope is Dre's just been pushing it too much and has been too eager to get back that he hasn't allowed his quad to heal. This is really the only way to do that, because now with the IR rules, he cannot step on the field. So that's where my hope is going to be there with this situation.
Yeah. I think I've got some thoughts I'll say. We got a super chat that are relevant.
Okay, I like that. And let's give a shout out to our friends over at Bet365, where if you use the code DNVR365 over at Bet365, you're going to get $200 in bonus bets. Win it. You deposit $10. Use that code DNVR365 and place a $5 bet. Who do we have for Thursday Night Football tomorrow? Because last week was supposed to be a dud that turned out to be a little bit better.
Cardinals and Seahawks, I think.
Okay.
Let me double check that.
Tyler's apparently playing really well.
It's so sad. You Google Cardinals, and it's
What's the
St.
line?
Louis Cardinals that come up.
Yeah,
Wow.
That's tough.
What's the line there for that game?
It is Seahawks at Cardinals.
Okay.
We can work on the line.
I'm going to go Seahawks by 3.
1 to 1.5.
1 to what? So it's in Arizona.
Yes.
It has to be. Yep. Give me the Seahawks. They're going to crush the Cardinals there. Sorry for our friends over at PHNX. But if you want to
Seahawks
get
are
in
terrible.
on the bet, use the code DNVR365 when you sign up over at Bet365, and you can get in with bonus bets. And you must be 20 and older, physically located in Colorado. Please gamble responsibly. If you're someone you know has a gambling problem, wants help, call or text 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Raising Cane's. Best chicken fingers on the market right now. And you got to hit up them on game day, whether you're tailgating or cheering from the couch. Fuel your crew with Raisin Cane's. Hand-battered, cooked-to-order chicken fingers, crispy, crinkle-cut fries, buttery Texas toast, and the MVP of every bite, cane sauce. And don't forget jugs of freshly brewed tea and freshly squeezed lemonade to keep the squad refreshed. Big plays, big flavor. It's how Cane's does game day. So rally your team and make your next tailgate a touchdown. Raising Cane's chicken fingers. One love. Shout out to Raising Cane's.
And shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Okay, guys, to wrap this conversation up, I want to throw some numbers your way, and you tell me if you would take the number of games Dre Greenlaw plays for the Broncos this year, or if you would roll the dice. So we know,
I know what Henry's going to say.
Yeah.
I know.
The answer is yes.
Yeah. So the Broncos, so he can be back week 7, which means he's guaranteed to miss 6 weeks, which means there's 11 games that he could play in. Where should I set this line for Henry? I'll go 2.5.
Yes.
Wow.
As long as it wasn't 0,
Ryan,
I'm saying
would you
yep.
take 2.5?
No.
Yeah.
Really?
No,
Okay.
I wouldn't either. 5.5.
No.
7.5.
Yes.
Probably where I'm at too. And
Wait, why is it a half game?
because would you take the over or the under? You know, like I don't want to give you 7 and then you say 7 and it pushes.
right.
So wait, is this a prediction or what would make me happy?
What would you take? Yeah,
This
no.
is what does your heart
would you
want.
take this?
When would I bet the over?
When
Yeah.
would your heart say take? Oh,
Yeah.
I feel like we're conflating betting versus like how many games would you be cool with?
I feel
Yeah,
conflated.
it's the same thing, I think.
No. Betting.
No, what would you take? No, I'm asking you what would you take?
would make your
not,
heart full?
Not
Not what
betting.
do you
You're
think?
right, you're
Okay,
right.
okay.
Use your heart, not your
what
brain.
What would you take?
Yeah, my heart, I'm going to need 8 games.
What does your brain say?
My brain says I would not bet on any number.
My brain says under.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Exactly.
saying.
Yeah.
Like if you set the over under at 1.5 games played, I wouldn't bet the over.
I agree.
I would. I think
You
Dre
think he just grinds through and
I think Dre plays this year. If you're gonna set it that low, I would take the over at 1.5.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say what I'm scared of.
Would you take if he plays 4 games, but 3 of them are division games?
No.
No?
I would.
So when I look at this, I think that in terms of like a realistic thing. So he is the first game he can be back week 7 against the Giants. You look at that. It's the Giants, Cowboys, Texans. If you think he's going to play 7-ish games, that means he's going to be back for the Chiefs game in week 11. Well, that doesn't make much sense because then the next week's a bye week. So realistically, and maybe this is where I'll say realistically, I think Dre Greenlaw's back is week 13 against the Commanders. Then you'll have him for a 6-game stretch though down the line. I would sign up for that right now.
Me too.
And it just shows like how unfortunate
Yeah.
the
If the
situation
Broncos
is.
were 3-0 like they should be, I'd sign up for it.
But what I don't want is him coming back for the Giants game a few days too early, and then he's done for the rest of the
To
season.
me, it's like if the margins are that slim, he's just probably not going to play or play well at any point this season.
But that's why I say don't even bring him back week 7. Bring him back week 13. Wait a month and a half later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you'd have him against the Commanders, against the Raiders, against the Packers, against the Jags, against the Chiefs, and then at home to round out the season against the Chargers.
Yeah.
3 division games right there. That'd be huge.
My fear has just boiled down to like, is this quad just cooked?
I agree.
Yeah, which is very fair.
So, like I said, I wasn't going to say what my real fear is, but I just did.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at. I'm like, if every time he goes out there, something happens to it, is there any amount of time that would get it back to what it once was?
Yeah, very fair, very fair. And maybe it's an entire another year.
This is one of those reasons why if the coaches would just explain in a little more detail what's happening, maybe they could quell some of those fears that like his quad just is whatever at this point.
Yeah.
Sean doesn't talk about injuries, Henry.
No, and it makes everybody super sad. And maybe that is what happened, and it's helping him in this case.
Yeah, and his Angel T says, this is depressing. Let's go to something a little less depressing here. We've talked a lot about the Broncos' deep balls, and we've talked about it on this show, Broncos X's and O's with Dave Logan and Benny what'd I say? Their deep balls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about Bo Nix's deep balls. Mm-hmm. And Broncos X's and O's, Dave Logan, Benny Fowler, broke it down as well. And I want to talk about when it comes to Sean Payton being concerned about Bo, he's not in the slightest. And he made it known big time how little he is concerned about this. Let's hear from Sean. This was Sean the most recent time we talked to him on Monday when he was asked about Bo's deep balls and his concern level. I want you guys to tell me if your concern level is about where Sean is on this.
We're talking about the deep ball again, meaning the conversations relative with the Q would not be those two deep balls on 3rd and like 23 or 3rd and 11. The conversation would be, throughout the game relative to plays we're getting in and out of, location throws, 3rd down. I mean, but a lot's been made, I think, of the two long balls, and I'll be honest with you, and that again, driving in this morning, that'd be like 50th on my to-do list item.
It's 50th on his to-do list.
Because what is there to do?
Improve Bo's footwork. Boom. There. If he doesn't step up, the ball doesn't go as far.
But he has to step up.
Yeah.
Especially on the flea flicker.
No.
Yes.
I don't think so.
The pocket was collapsing right behind him.
And that's where I think in the first
Not the way he
answer-
ran up to throw it. Not I shouldn't say step up, but he ran up through it, and that messed with the way the ball went.
Yes, that one was necessary though. There are times where Bo's feet are moving and it's not necessary. In that case, it was.
No.
Yes.
No, he threw it off his front foot. That's not good.
Because
footwork.
he had to stop because the pocket was collapsing from the front as well.
It wasn't No.
Yes, it was.
No.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you here.
Okay. But yeah, and I think the first answer when you asked was, we don't want to overcoach passes that are just bouncing off guys' fingertips. And I think that's the right approach. I don't think that there's a lot of... If you're Sean Payton and on Monday after the game, you get 15 minutes with Bo Nix, spending your time saying like, hey, this really would have been a big pass. Like, we really got to hit this one. We need this. Like, there isn't a lot that you can do coaching-wise, I think, when it comes to those passes. When I look at them, I say, yep, just kind of missed. And because of that, it isn't high on the to-do list. What's on the to-do list, like he said, is here's this read that I think you screwed up. Here's what I want you to think on this play. I think there are a lot of things that are a lot more coachable than you threw the ball and it missed. You know, at some point, that's the player's aspect. That's like in basketball when a guy's shooting threes, he's missing threes. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe he's rushing, whatever. But a lot of the time, it's just like, yep, the shots weren't falling. But instead of talking about that with the guy, which he already knows, the shots aren't falling, here are these 4 other things that maybe you can work on are a little bit more actionable and fit better on a to-do list.
AKA footwork.
For
If
me,
you want,
for me, the coaching point is underthrows are greater than overthrows. And
that's fascinating.
Yes.
Because Sean disagrees.
Yeah, I'll happily disagree with Sean.
Yeah.
Underthrows are catchable. Overthrows are not.
Underthrows are also able to drop
Interceptable.
PIs.
For sure.
No, also able to drop PIs.
Yes. 2 good things, 1 bad, or you could say 2 bad things. The options are completed pass, pass interference, incomplete pass, interception. Everything comes into play.
Yeah.
Overthrows, there's only one thing that can happen, and that is incomplete pass.
Correct.
So especially when you have guys like Cortland Sutton, underthrowing Cortland Sutton is better every single time, especially on that type of route. Now, when you're talking about like a fade route to the corner of the end zone from the 5-yard line, well, no, you don't want to underthrow it there because the guy's going to be able to get in position to intercept the football. When those corners are running at full speed, just praying that they're not going to get cooked, the chances of them turning around, tracking the ball, and intercepting it are very low. When you're out on the sidelines, airing it out 40, 50 yards down the field, that's where you want to underthrow the ball, in my opinion. Rather, you'd like to just put it right on the money.
And see, that's the thing.
But you'd rather underthrow it than overthrow it. It's
you would.
So that's been the problem with me with Bo, and like you said, it goes all the way back to college with him, where he's just airing it out just a little too far. Nothing can happen there. It's like the opposite of golf, where it's like if you leave a putt short, it can't go in. Well, if you leave a deep pass long, it can't go in.
It could be a bad putt.
Opposites.
Yes.
I also think, though, I think you have to be trying to just hit the guy in stride. And I don't think there's like hit him in stride, but leave it just a tiny bit short, because then if you miss, it's more like I think aim small, miss small.
Look at the throw that he completed to Cortland for the touchdown.
Right.
Cortland breaks stride just a tiny bit to catch that football. The chances of completing it went up exponentially by that.
And I think the throws down the sideline are tougher, because that's where Sean said, like, the bigger problem would be if you leave them inside. Like, you got to hit them in stride. You can't let them peel off inside. On the one to Court, that's that kind of crossing route. It's a post where, you can hit him up here, you can hit him down here, and he can kind of adjust and get to it. And he's so open that it makes sense. And maybe the Marvin Mims one, there was enough space. And if he'd chosen to throw it to Troy instead, then there certainly was enough space to underthrow it a little bit. He still could have caught it and gotten in there. Yeah. But I think when you're a quarterback and you're throwing a pass, if you're not thinking hit him in stride, you're not going to hit him in stride. Like, you just have to make that your thought. And there isn't like err on the side of one way or the
there
other.
Definitely should be.
You think so?
100%.
I don't think that thought leads to you hitting the pass.
I don't remember. We either talked to a quarterback on the show or on the podium, and they said, yeah, you always err on the side of underthrowing as opposed to overthrowing. And I don't think it was. I truly don't remember who it was. But yeah, they do think about that.
Yeah, I mean, I got in a fight with my quarterback in this in 8th grade. This might come as a surprise to you guys, but I wasn't exactly a speedster.
Yeah.
And we had this play that just worked every time. It's like a little post from the tight end on the inside. If you got the split safeties, it was just going to be open right down the middle. And our quarterback overthrew me twice in a row. Because we literally ran the play, and I was just like, I was wide open. Run it again.
Yep.
Ran it again. He overthrew me again. And he's like, run faster. I'm like, just throw it right to me. I'm wide open.
Yeah.
We heard Sean talk a little bit later too. He was asked just about the offense. Sean always talks about painting the picture around Bo. And so it's not just all on the quarterback, which is true. It's about painting the picture around Bo. So Sean was asked about that, and he had some interesting things to say. Let's hear from Sean again.
Yeah, I think it was too inconsistent. There were too many minus plays. And so yesterday was a day that I would say the job degree difficulty factor, it was a hard day to play quarterback when your average third down is 3rd and 11. So if we're not more efficient on 1st and 2nd down, the best in our league are going to struggle with the numbers that we gave him on 3rd down. So that's the thing that stood out was not only the penalties that set you back offensively, but the minus plays. And that has to be corrected for us to be a quality offense.
Yeah, and a big thing we talked about yesterday was the inefficiency on 1st and 2nd down, which did put Bo in a really bad spot on 3rd down. So it's just important to remember, none of us are saying this is all on Bo. There are just things that need to be cleaned up. And speaking of, we want to see the tape. Angel T says, let's see the tape. You hear?
He's talking about my tape.
The RK tape.
Oh, your tape.
Yeah.
Look at that. Come on.
Where?
What? I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's Bo right there in the middle. This is him in a clean pocket with plenty of space behind him.
This is not the flea flicker. No, it's not.
Oh, yeah, here, let's go, baby.
I'll send you the tape.
This is not the. He's on the 30-yard line going in. It's not the flea flicker.
What do you mean? No, he's looking left. He's looking.
Oh, we're going the other way. Okay, wait, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, here's
Careful,
literally
careful.
showing him the film because unfortunately YouTube does not allow us to see the film. And here we go, Ryan. Take us through what you're seeing here.
Okay, I'm seeing
Paint
the
the
end
picture.
of the play right now. Let's get back a little bit. Okay. So the person that we thought was Bo is not Bo. And that's why I thought he was going the other way because he's facing the wrong way.
No, the guy in the middle of the circle was Bo.
So here's Bo.
Yeah, that's Bo. That's the
Okay.
guy that was circled.
No, there's 4 guys circled.
He was
Okay.
one in the middle.
He has the ball.
Yep.
The back
remember
of the
that part.
pocket is about to collapse. He steps up.
Nope. Now he's running. He is running up into the
because
pocket.
he's about to get sacked by this guy.
Now stop where he is right now.
Yes.
The pocket's good. He keeps going.
That guy doesn't just stay there. He's
Yeah,
chasing him.
Ryan, that guy is like 3 yards behind him now.
This is good podcasting. Okay,
He's-
now
look, stop
okay,
right now.
he
Stop.
is.
He's in
Now
a good
he-
pocket.
yes.
Stop. He does not stop.
But look,
he keeps running.
no, he doesn't.
He runs into the back of the offensive lineman. Keep
Look,
playing it.
He's setting to throw the ball.
No.
Yes, he is. Look at his feet.
Well, you paused it, so it looks like he stopped.
Okay, look.
Oh, there you go. No.
You can't throw the ball from flat foot.
The
This is just his stride to
momentum
pass the ball.
continues. He's just running the whole way.
No, bro. He evades the rush from the back, and now his feet. He's trying to stop. The problem is this part of the pocket is now collapsing as well. So he has to kind of like stop his momentum from moving forward.
Ryan, he had like 10 yards, and he ran all the way up to the front of the 10 yards.
Yeah, we're just not going to agree on this.
We just watched it, and he had plenty of space to slow down.
He did slow down. He had to move quickly to get away from the rush. Remember, this is a slow developing play.
Yeah, and he had plenty of time. Alex T, you said watch the film.
That's what I was doing.
Whose side are you on?
Well,
no,
if
I
Alex
want to
says
know.
so.
Toyota chat, let us know because clearly we disagree, and I don't think either of us are going to change our sides here. Maybe here drop a poll in the Toyota chat.
Let me just finish what I was saying, which is what I've been saying the entire time about this throw. He actually did set his feet on the throw. The problem is, as he's striding to throw the ball, the front of the pocket is getting pushed right into him, which forces him to change his release point. If you watch it, he releases it super high. And that's why the throw is inaccurate.
But if the pocket was collapsing on him, wouldn't that cause him to throw the ball shorter?
If you want to nitpick, you can say like, okay, instead of kind of like running away from the rush that was about to sack him, he could have just like shuffled his feet forward twice and then thrown it. That's the nitpick of the footwork for that.
I disagree, and we're just gonna have to disagree on that. I thought.
But I think he's a
Pocket
little
getting
extra
plenty of
panicked
space.
in this situation because it's an incredibly slow developing play. So it's like my clock has to be really fast when I get the ball.
Yeah, and he ran about 10 yards up in the pocket, so he had plenty of time.
Give me the.
Okay, we're just gonna have to agree to disagree on that. One more thing that I want to get to before we wrap up this show is just taking a big picture look at where the Broncos are. We've talked about how we're not worrying about them, but where do they stand and who's in front of them? What do things look like? And let's do that after I give a shout out to our delicious friends over at Taco Bell, where, man, Taco Bell just never ceases to amaze me. Everything they do is good, including the protein-packed
yes.
nachos. We've all had them in the
Yes.
past 3 days. We've all had the protein-packed nachos, and I got to tell you, it is one of the things that you want with the nacho is a scoop or topping for every scoop.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like you get to the bottom and it's just chips, and you're like, well, I didn't order like a plate of chips. Well, in nachos, you don't have to worry about that. With these nachos at Taco Bell, it's loaded with every single ingredient you want on nachos. It's got the refried beans, warm nacho cheese, shredded blend of mozzarella. So you get those 2 types of cheeses there, pepper jack and cheddar cheese, freshly prepared pico de gallo, reduced fat sour cream, and guacamole with Haas avocados. Plus, they've got so many other things. You need to stop by Taco Bell and try them all, including the bus box for $7. Incredible deal. And a cool thing about Taco Bell, they're giving $1,000 $1,000 to the CU Athletics Golden Buffalo Scholarship Foundation for every touchdown CU scores. Sco Buffs and Liv Moss.
Just a tie bow on this really quick.
On Coors Light, maybe?
Yes.
Yes, let's tie bow on some Coors Light, which would be...
Great gift.
it would be a really good gift.
24-pack with a bow around
Wow.
it.
Lexi asked me
Yeah.
last week what I want to do for my birthday 2 weeks ago, which is in January. I was like, what the hell are you talking
Wow.
about? Yeah,
We got a big party then.
But now I have an actual answer because I'm sure she's going to circle back around. The answer is just a bunch of Coors Light. Coors Light Day, January 24th. Get it circled. Coors Light's the best. It's all about the coldness, the chillness. That's why the mountains turn blue when they're as cold as the Rockies. It's cold filtered, cold lagered, cold packaged, smooth finish because of all that. Great stuff. Go check it out. Make the most out of the times you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door. Visit CoorsLight.com/DNVR. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado beer.
And let's put one more bow on this by giving a shout out to our presenting sponsor, Bet365. Use that code DNVR365 when you sign up.
Okay, so like Tom Brady, if he's in that play,
Yeah.
just shuffles twice forward and probably delivers the ball perfectly.
Yes.
So I'm not saying that Bo's footwork was perfect on the play. It wasn't. But that one specifically, and I'm also not saying that Bo's footwork is good this year. It's bad.
No,
Yeah.
he's panicked.
But that play specifically, I think there was actually a reason for his movement is all I'm trying to say. And had either the edges blocked better, which is, again, asking a lot because it's a designed slow developing play, then he wouldn't have had to jump up so much. Or if the middle was held up a little bit more, then he wouldn't have had to essentially stop his momentum and raise his arm for a higher throw. So he was adjusting to what was happening in real time. And it's obviously a lot easier said than done to be like, oh, he could have just stopped in this little tiny space right here and made the throw. So again, I'm saying on that one, of all the throws where I'm going to critique his footwork, that one is less so for me because it's one, a rushed play. Like you're coached. When you get this ball, you're going to need to get it out quick.
Yeah.
Two, there's a lot happening around him. The pocket's collapsing behind him and in front of him.
The pocket didn't collapse really at all. I mean, maybe a foot from in front of him. Those guys are right at the line of scrimmage still. And in terms of behind him, Ryan, those guys are 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Pockets are going to collapse 10 yards behind the line of scrimmage. That's why he catches it, takes a step up. Again, he had 10 yards there. I mean, we saw it. He went from the 40 to the 30. Or the 30 to the 40 where he threw it. The pocket was good. I bet the offensive line got a plus grade on that play. That's you can allow the edge rushers to go 10 yards behind where the line of scrimmage is. That's okay.
Yeah, I just think this one's being over nitpicked.
And that's why I go back to my original thought, which is if I'm Sean Payton, I get my 15 minutes to talk with Bo on Monday. The deep balls are not one of the things I'm talking about.
What's
which
funny,
is what
though,
he
is
said.
we've spent 20 minutes talking about it. So
Well,
I think
I've been
that
over
actually kind of proves that the footwork and the deep balls are important.
They're important, and they were a problem. But I don't think that there is coaching that can be done to quickly fix it. I think you could throw out there, Bo, you clearly need to be slowed down. You're frantic out there. But I don't see that as a deep ball thing. I see that as that's the biggest thing with Bo for the entire season.
If Bo Nix is going to get where we need him to get, his footwork has to get exponentially better.
100%.
Yep.
Whether
100%.
it's on a flea flicker or a 5 wide all hitches. It just has to be better.
Totally agree. Okay, so let's take a big picture look at where the Broncos are at right now in the AFC. You're shaking your head.
About watching the film, which we literally just did live on the show.
Yeah, and I
watch the film.
I think the film
Just watch the film.
proved my point. So I
think the film
appreciate
proved my
the
point as
film.
well.
Thanks for pulling that up
The film
here.
also proved my point.
Wild. Okay, so let's dive in and take a look at this AFC picture right here, guys. What stands out to me, Broncos have 2 losses. As Henry said, did not trail in the fourth quarter in any game so far. Who's the top of the standings right there? Who's 1 and 2?
Oh, the 2 teams that they lost to.
Yeah, the Chargers at 3-0, the Colts at 3-0, and there's only one other 3-0 team, and that is the Buffalo Bills.
That's wild.
Now, as it stands right now, that's about as good as you could hope for the Broncos having 2 losses, is that they come to 2 teams that are combined 6-0. Who knows? Where do you guys stand on the Chargers and the Colts? Are they an elite team for the rest of the season as it stands right now?
To me, you've got the Bills and Ravens up at the tippy top.
Still with the Ravens?
Yeah. They lost, but I mean, again, it's a competitive loss to the Lions, and if we're comparing them to the Bills in particular too, like I also wouldn't look at the Bills and say, "Oh, there's a dominant team." And we saw them play each other, and they were right there, neck and neck. I think
The
they're
Ravens
right.
should have won.
Probably.
They blew the game.
Yeah, which is a trend. Derrick
Yes.
Henry's a fumbler now. But I think.
So then, really quick, with the Ravens,
Yep.
do you change your feeling on the Ravens if they lose to the Chiefs, or is that another example of, well, you just lost to a team that's in the Super Bowl?
Depends on how it goes, you know. Like if the Chiefs just blow them out, then I'm going to start to have some questions. But then I might just be saying like, actually, Chiefs and Bills are up here. Raven, we'll see how that game plays out. I think seeing those 2 teams right now, they're the 2 best, and I think that tier after is where things get interesting. I think the Chargers are firmly in there. I think it's tough to include maybe anybody else at this point in that second tier. There's the case for the Chiefs because they are the Chiefs. There's the case for the Colts because they look really good, and it's kind of the opposite of the Chiefs' case. And maybe those 2 just belong on the same tier because Colts are really good but shouldn't be. Chiefs are not that good but should. So I think Chargers half step, and then maybe tier 2.5 is those 2. And if you want to throw, I wouldn't put the Jags or anybody else in there either.
I think
Those
the
are top
Bills
5.
are in a class of their own right now.
Okay.
I think the Chargers are the top of the next tier. And I think whoever loses between the Ravens and the Chiefs this week is also out of that tier.
Wow. Okay. Yours is a more clear pyramid. Mine is the hourglass.
Ooh.
I like that, and I think it shows how wide open the AFC is right now. Because I'm not sold on. I think the Chargers and Colts are good teams. I think the Chargers are a great team, and man, the more we see from Justin Herbert, the more it does seem like Vance was right last week when he said he's the MVP of the league right now, and that's obviously really scary. That's what takes them from really good to elite.
Who is?
Justin Herbert. I'm not completely sold on it yet, so I think you're right. I think it's the Bills and everyone else right now. And that just feels so different from where it was last year. Last year it was the Chiefs, it was the Bills, it was the Ravens, and it was that it, or was there one more team?
That was really it.
But it was like
it,
3.
yeah.
It was like 3 in the AFC.
Yeah,
3
right.
elite teams, and for a time it looked like the Steelers were also legit. Then they completely fell off. Steelers right now, you guys worried about them? You got Aaron Rodgers. They're 2-1.
Not yet.
They're
They're fine. I think right now they should be
They're
in
gonna play in the
competition for one of
playoffs.
those last couple wild card spots.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they're not. They're certainly. They don't fit into my hourglass. That's for sure.
And like the Bengals, they're 2-1. Well, we're really gonna dive into them soon.
Yeah.
But they're the most false 2-1 that any team can have right now.
They're done.
I do think the top 5
Completely
is pretty
agree.
clear, right? In whatever order, I include the Colts and Chargers with the Chiefs, Bills and Ravens.
One of those
One of
teams
those
is
teams is
knocked out,
going out.
though. Yes.
Okay.
After this weekend because of the Chiefs and
So Chiefs
Yeah,
and Ravens.
I would
outside of
predict
the-
it to be the Chiefs.
So you knocked the loser all the way out behind the Chargers and Colts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Really?
You're at 1-3.
Who do the Chargers and Colts play this week? There's a good
Okay,
chance
I
they're going to
could-
be 3-game lead.
I think the Chiefs could go out. Again, just in terms of like power rankings, best teams.
The Chargers play the Giants. Jackson Dart
they're 4-0.
making his first start
What
in
are
the
they
NFL.
doing starting Jackson Dart's first career start against that defense?
Here's a
No Khalil Mack? Like,
No,
I
no.
agree with you.
If the-
And
so-
the Colts, really quick, the Colts are playing the Rams this weekend. That's
Yeah.
a tough game.
Yeah, that'll be a kind of a litmus test for them.
so like if the Chiefs lose a close game to the Ravens, you then say if you're the Broncos, I'd rather play the Chiefs than the Colts. Because that's why I can't have them falling all the way outside of the top 5. At the very least, they're right there still to me.
Yeah, I just think you might not even have to worry about it other than the 2 times that you're going to play them during
Fair.
the regular season.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Okay.
was thinking of this in the same way in terms
Yeah.
of playoffs.
Oh, okay.
And who is making the playoffs right there.
Okay.
So I mean, it's just right now at a 1-2 record, the Broncos are 9th in the AFC. Obviously, so much season to go. 1 game back from being just 4th right there. But the teams ahead of them, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Jags, the Raiders are tied with them at 1-2. I mean, the 3 2-1 teams in the AFC, I'm not sold on any of them. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it just as we said,
Well, and
relax.
the Broncos have the opportunity to be 2-2 after this week. Several of those teams will probably be 2-2 as well. And
Then Eagles. But they have a chance to beat the Eagles as well.
Yeah.
There's a chance. And I think that if you're an outside perspective looking at this, you'd say
I can't
Yeah.
wait for the
Broncos, Jags, Patriots, like put them all in that same group.
So yeah, if the Broncos lose to the Bengals this week, just go ahead and stick a fork in them. But if they don't, I feel like they're gonna somehow beat the Eagles, and I can't wait for the narrative scrambling that people do to then put them right back as a Super Bowl contender.
I so hope you're right on that, Ryan. And we're going to round out the show with some super chats. And over on Overtime, go to thednvr.com to continue the conversation online. And really quick, just to piggyback off what you said, Ryan, I just want to remind people, even if you don't beat the Eagles, you have an incredibly easy 6-game stretch coming right after that. Mm-hmm. So even if you don't
Just
shock
have to
the
win
world,
this one.
Yeah, you have to win this one. You can lose to the Eagles, and then you don't even have to win the next 6, but like you have 6 extremely winnable games. All right, let's get to the super chats really quick. Xavier chimes in and says, should we trade for David Njoku?
No, of course not. And this is what I was talking about before. I was saving some thoughts for this. That's part of the problem when you sign the injured guys and they get injured is there's a world in which Evan Ingram is back pretty quick and looks good. And if you happen to have traded for David Njoku, then it's just a waste.
No,
you know?
of course you should, because why not just have 2 great tight ends? Sean Payton loves using tight ends. And right now, Adam Troutman is a negative to this team, like a big-time net negative. And Evan Ingram has a back injury. Right. Yeah, so far. If you want to bet on that, I'll let you do that. I'm going to save my money on that one.
I will bet that he doesn't continue to rack up penalties.
Me too. Absolutely.
Okay. I would be so okay with the Broncos having two good tight ends.
Again, they're both like the Joker type tight ends, and we saw that usage with Ingram. You can't get him on the field every play, but still, I going back to the point. The point is when you go sign those injury prone guys, the risk is if they're dealing with injuries. Same thing with Dre Greenlaw. You go add a linebacker. If Dre comes back, then all of a sudden you're like, you can't do it, and that's what makes it so hard to pull the trigger. Is if Evan Ingram just didn't exist, it would be a super easy decision to say, yeah, let's go get David Njoku. He'd be a perfect piece here. But it's just so much harder when you've gone and gotten one of those guys who's now hurt. I remember talking about this with J.K. Dobbins, saying, like, if you sign Dobbins, that means you can't make another one of these moves. You're kind of riding with that. And if you wind up getting burned by that down the road, you could just get stuck because of it. It's tough to bet on the injured guys.
Yeah, the way that Sean is obsessed with rotating players in and out, I'll take more great skill position players on the team. So I just don't know what the cost would be, and I don't know what his contract is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, very fair. Speaking of trade deadline conversations, I'm sure tight end's going to be one if Evan doesn't come back. Ryan says, don't see the Chargers beating a competent offense. Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, that defense is too good.
And then he also says, hate to say it, but BYU -6.5 this weekend.
Go for it.
Go for it. You because you like that, or because you want the upset?
6.5 on the road in Boulder is a lot of points.
All right. I like it. That's going to end us today. Tomorrow we'll be back with a loaded show. You're not going to want to miss it. We got some guests joining us, including Henry's very special guests. So Don't miss that. Tune in tomorrow. We'll be live at noon. We'll see you then.
We all silly like the mayor.